In this episode, we're talking about search engine optimization. Now, what is that and why does your station need it? We'll stick around.
This is Better Radio Websites, the podcast for radio professionals who want to see their website generate more traffic and revenue. Each week, your host, Jim Sherwood, and his special guests give you time-tested tips and secret tricks to ensure your radio station dominates digital in your market. Here we go.
Hi, it's Jim, and welcome to Better Radio Websites, the podcast that helps you get the most from your radio station website, regardless if you partner with a service to help you with that, or if you do it completely DIY. All of the tips that you'll hear here are completely universal, and we hope that they help you each week. Well, when you sit down to find something on the internet, you rely on a search engine probably most times, King Google or Yahoo or any of the other search engines. Whatever you want to search for, you want the most relevant information to show up first, right? Well, that's what you want whenever you search. Well, the search engines want that also. They want the most relevant information for you to show up first. Well, how does that come about? I mean, they have a big algorithm running in the background all of the time that searches every website on every server around the globe and looking for the right information that matches your search term and everybody else's search term that they're searching for every other second of the day. Well, you want your website to show up in those search results for people who are searching for something possibly in your local area. And the best way to do that is through a process called search engine optimization, or SEO. Now, surely you've heard that term before. It covers a wide variety of strategies and activities based off of what we know how search engines work and determine their rankings. Now, there are many benefits to optimizing your website for search engines, including, a site that ranks highly in search engine result pages, or SERPs. Yes, that's a thing. It has a greater visibility and a better chance of increased traffic. Now, remember from previous podcasts, we've told you that the more traffic you get, the more we can show advertisers that our website is popular. That means more money that we can charge for the banners appearing on our website. So more traffic equals more revenue. Two, a highly ranked website just appears more credible and trustworthy because it's gone through that process of the search engine determining that it's more relevant. All right. So now, if you're new to SEO, don't worry. But if you have a website that is based on WordPress, you've already taken a huge step because the platform is already well optimized for search engines. You don't have to do really anything special. You just have to do some of the right things within WordPress to kind of give it that oomph. And here we're going to cover 10 beginner-friendly ways for you to push your site up in those search rankings. All right, here we go. Number one is build your content around keywords. Now, keywords are short phrases that describe your content topic. For example, you may have a news article on your website about a beltway accident that maybe happened in the morning commute, okay? And so, you mentioned this on the radio, and so folks who listen to the radio know that it's on your website, but maybe somebody caught the very last part of the news story or whatever, and it's been a few hours, and you've had some new posts on the website, and so they'll have to go to the website and then search for it. Well, they won't do that. They'll actually just search for Beltway accident in Google, and they will want to see your website come up in those search results. That's why this build your content around keywords is so important. Choose a keyword for each post or page, and then use it in several places like the title, the headings, the content itself, even in the image metadata. All of these are common ways to communicate your topic to search engine crawlers and increase the chances of this article showing up in the search results that match those keyword searches. Now, of course, you have to be smart about the way you use keywords. You can't fill a page full of the same keyword. This is actually a process known as keyword stuffing. A lot of folks used to do that back in the day to try to trick search engines into, getting folks to their shopping cart pages. And, they would probably even make it hidden to where you actually didn't see it, but the search engines would see it. Those appear unnatural, one, and spammy if they can be seen, but the search engines will actually penalize those pages and push them much, much lower in the search results. I mean, they'll be so low that you just won't be found at all. So be sure that you build your content around keywords. Number 2, use clean, SEO-friendly permalinks. A permalink is a URL to your post or page. It's what people really see and use to link back to your website. And that appearance actually matters to people as well as search engines. So when I say permalink, think of mywebsite.com/name of page. By default, WordPress uses a numeric URL structure. It doesn't help SEO really much at all because none of the descriptive text appears in that URL. The best one is to use something that includes maybe the post category and the post name. Like, for example, local-news/beltway-accident is a whole lot better than P equals 3472. It's much more descriptive too. You pretty much know what you're getting if you see that URL. Well, if your post title has several words, a permalink can be very long. If your title to your article is huge accident on the Beltway this morning in commute slows traffic to a stall for several miles, that's going to be a huge permalink. What you can do is if you're in WordPress, you can actually click the edit button by the permalink link and edit that down to something that just includes the keyword like Beltway accident slows commute. And then there is your URL that is clean and it's search engine friendly. A whole lot better. All right, number 3, incorporate useful internal and external links within your pages and posts. Google and other search engines absolutely love this. It shows that your website is connected both internally and externally to other websites. Using plenty of links throughout your pages and posts or whatever, tell crawlers that they relate to similar content elsewhere on the internet. And what that does is kind of builds the reputation of your content there. It also encourages other people to link back to your website, which in turn communicates to search engines that your content is even more valuable and relatable about this keyword topic. You want to use links carefully, okay? If you cram too many links into your content, or if you use links that point to irrelevant pages, then your rankings will suffer. So if your article is about a Beltway accident and you have a bunch of links going to a store, then your article starts to look spammy, and they'll actually push it down in the search results because all of those links link off to somewhere else that don't relate to accidents or travel or anything else that's in the article itself. All right, so be careful with that. All right, number 4, optimize your images that appear within your pages and posts. Now, images provide visual appeal and context. They also help to break up the text and make it more readable. If you have a long news story, you may consider putting a couple images in the middle there to kind of break it up. It also has an impact on SEO as well because search engines will actually look at your content and give it a readability score. And if you have images in the middle of it, it actually increases that readability score. Pretty cool, huh? All right, now the quality and size of these images can affect your page loading speed, which is another ranking factor. So large images can degrade your overall score and actually push your listing lower in the results. Isn't that something? I mean, you could have an article with the text that is perfectly the most relevant article about this particular topic. But if you include a large, bulky image somewhere in the article, it could push that lower in the search results just by having a large image in the article. Also, crawlers will look for certain information attached to the images like file names and alt text when trying to index and understand this particular piece of content. So let's say we have our article about the Beltway accident, and somewhere in the middle of that article, there's a picture with a file name of flower, or the alt text is picture of a meadow. All right. All right. It happens. And so having that picture in that article that relates in no way to the article that it's in will actually degrade the score of that article in search results. All right. So be sure that if you upload an image that you set that alt text and your description. Now you get extra points if you can use the keyword in one of these places. All right. So Beltway accident, put it actually in the file name and then the alt text and the description of the image. That is going to really, really boost the SEO goodness of this article. All right, number 5, Write long form content when possible. Search engine algorithms, when deciding how to rank content, they do pay special attention to its length. That doesn't mean shorter content ranks lower or that you should make very long articles for every piece of news content that you put on your radio station website. That doesn't mean that. We're just saying that longer content does have an advantage because search engines consider it more likely to be comprehensive and better in communicating the complete topic. Longer content is also valuable to readers because it can increase perceived credibility. It also encourages visitors to spend more time on your website. So the longer somebody can stay on a page, the better. So when creating content, try to make it in depth as possible, but don't think that you have to, make several paragraphs for every news article that goes on your website. You just don't have to do that. Number 6, add new posts frequently. Along with the length, Google's algorithms consider the frequency of new content when deciding how to rank your overall site. Older, high quality content will do well, of course, but a boost is given to newer, fresh content that's more likely to be relevant to searchers. Therefore, if you want your website to do well consistently over time, then you want to add new content regularly, daily, if possible, weekly, necessary. Okay? Try creating a post schedule to keep yourself on track and varying the types of content that you put on there. Keep your visitors interested, all right? Don't neglect older posts and pages. Consider updating some evergreen content that you've put online in the past. All right, updating your existing content prompts crawlers to reevaluate it and give it higher prominence than pages that never change at all. And I tell you, I've seen search engine optimization work firsthand. Whenever I started this company, I had no blog articles on our website. It was a fresh company, so there was no blog articles to be written yet. And so I started doing this on a weekly schedule. Really, it wasn't a weekly schedule. It was really more of a monthly schedule as I was getting everything kicked off. But over time, I saw folks coming to us just by the organic traffic that those blog posts were generating. Folks were doing a keyword search for radio station website, and I had most of our posts and images tagged for radio station website. And I keyworded some other things that people were looking for when they were looking for a radio station website. So most of the phone calls that we even get today are from those blog articles and those posts that we continue to update the website with on a continuous basis. If it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't be as popular as we are today. So it does work. All right, number 7 in our list of beginner ways to push your website to the top of search engine rankings is avoid duplicate content. Another big mark of confusion is to cover the exact same issue with keywords and multiple posts and pages. There's a common misconception that targeting the same topic on multiple pages will improve your rankings in a search result for a topic. The fact is quite the opposite. And this is a process known as keyword cannibalization. You're essentially competing with yourself on a given topic. And by doing so, you're diminishing the quality and authority of your website. This often results in your website being pushed further down in the results. So it's really better for you to update a single post than to come back with a new post about the same topic again and again and again. We had a client actually ask us to change some of the things that we had done in our launch product because they had a city council meeting that was scheduled for Friday. And on Monday, they wrote a news post saying that their city council was going to meet on Friday. But on Wednesday, the city council changed the schedule, changed the time. So they had to write a new article saying that the times had changed. And then on Friday, they were going to come back, write another article saying that it took place and this is what happened. So they were writing 3 articles for one event. We totally took that and said, okay, let's make it to where they update the same article 3 times, but each time they update that article appears at the top of the listings on the website. So that was a great strategy for them, and it's better for SEO overall. And that's also something good for evergreen content. Let's say you made a post called Best Local Restaurants. It's a topic that really never goes out of date. What you could do is just go in there and you have a list of best restaurants, And then next month, that list may change, or the month after, or the month after. And then so you go in there and you simply update the article, and then that article appears at the very top of the list when somebody comes to your website for the first time. This approach is much better than creating new posts that rehash the same topic over and over and over again. Number 8 in our list, share your articles with everyone you can. Once you've created a news article on your website or a piece of content, be sure that you promote it on air and over social channels. The combination of this mass amount of traffic and social sharing causes Google to deem these particular posts and pages as more relevant. Therefore, it's going to bump them up in your rankings. Traffic makes a difference. Create a buzz around your content, and it's going to help get it in front of more people. That's going to often lead to more links, as well as others referencing your content from their own content. So we recommend sharing posts as much as you can, as often as you can. Now, you may think, well, you know what? The only thing that we need to do is just talk about it on the radio and folks will come. That's not true. A lot will come, but some folks may only hear a part of that promotion. So you want to make sure that your search engine optimization is there. So if they only hear a bit of it, they can go and they can search for it and still find it. All right, number 9, conduct regular SEO audits. A great way to instantly check to see how well your website is optimized for SEO is to perform regular audits. Now, there are many free and premium plugins and tools out there to help you. There's a website service out there called SEO Site Checkup, and I'll link to this in the show notes. It's a free tool that has over 50 checks to let you basically know how each page and post is doing. So check that out. All right, number 10, delete old content. Now, this is actually a new one for me. I thought that the more old content that you had on your website, the better, but it turns out that's not the case. Chances are that nobody will search for a lost dog article that you published 4 years ago. It's better to have less content that's more relative to your area and relatable to the people that will be searching for things in your area than have lots of posts that are really not valuable to anyone anymore. Old news. Now, I'm not suggesting to go right out and delete half of your website, but you could benefit from going through and looking through old articles and say, look, this right here, nobody's going to search for this article again because it's old news. HubSpot CRM, they recently deleted 3,000 posts from their blog. Now, their blog is all about marketing information that helps them attract more customers. Their SEO went through the roof after deleting these 3,000 posts because Google spent less time getting more relevant information from their website than going through old articles full of old stuff that nobody's going to search for. Now, I'll link to that article that actually went through the steps that they did in the show notes, but that just blew my mind. I thought the more content that you had on your website, the better. It turns out not the case. So if you can delete those old articles that are really old news, then that's going to help you out in the long run. All right, so there you go. That's our 10 ways to give your website a push in the search rankings. Now, an extra tip is to install an SEO plugin like Yoast SEO or Rankmath to help you identify areas to improve in each page or post. They'll actually include a little meta area down there at the bottom that will actually give you a score based on the keyword or keywords that you use. It will actually look at your title and your content and your image and kind of give you tips on how to make this a whole lot better. Very cool stuff out there. Now, all of these tips that we've been talking about have been about news and blog posts. Imagine how you could use a blog to target advertisers looking for marketing opportunities in your local area. So if somebody did a search for marketing opportunities in your town, state, and your website showed up the best ways to market on the radio in your area, if your blog article shows up first, then you are more likely going to get the sale than anybody else. Because in the mind of that person doing that search, you are the most relevant. So take these tips and go out and make more money using them. All right, so that's your 10 ways to improve SEO on your website. I hope these tips help you. If they do, please reach out to us at skyrocketradio.com. We do want to hear about it. All right, that's it. Have an awesome week making your radio station website better. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Better Radio Websites. Inspired by today's episode? Be sure you are subscribed and share this episode with a friend. Visit skyrocketradio.com/podcasts for more episodes as well as show notes for this episode. Need help starting or making your station website better? Visit skyrocketradio.com.